And most people say, well, that's the way it's going to be. It's been that way for thousands of years. Governments are always too big, and they fight the wars and make innocent young people die. And therefore, you can't expect anything different to happen. And I am so optimistic that I believe we can change that, or at least introduce this whole notion that it doesn't have to be that way. You know, if Switzerland can go, what, 400 years without actively fighting a war, why can't a lot more of us do the same thing? That's what I think we ought to do. Now, does that mean you give up, you become pacifist and give up defense? No, you put an AK-47 in everybody's house. Some people say, well, it's Switzerland because they're surrounded by mountains and it's a special situation and nobody ever wanted to invade them and they didn't have to participate. Well, didn't we have a pretty special situation, and still do, even in this modern age? You know, there's a lot of water between us and any individual that might invade us right now. I don't think there's anybody planning on invading us. I remember back in the early 80s, they were planning to build these huge tanks. We were building more tanks. And I asked God, I said, why do we need more tanks? Are we expecting the Russians to come across the Bering Sea and invade us with their tanks? I mean, it just goes on, and I don't think it's too over the top to think that attitudes can change. I think two things have to happen, though, to get it. I think we need more resistance from young people to say, we're sick and tired of it all, we don't want to fight your wars, and we're not going to go and be cannon fodder. We need more resistance to these wars. But we need more, we need individuals in Washington who have different ideas and different programs. And I think that would be worthwhile, but I don't think that would answer the question, because I think people abuse power what they get it. So if they're able to and believe they can use this power and get in those positions, and it is thought by the people that government ought to have this monopoly of power, then I think there will always be abuse. I think we have to get to the point where we tell anybody in Washington, you don't have this authority. You don't have this authority to run our lives. You don't have authority to run the economy. And you don't have authority to tax us and fight wars that we don't need to be in. And we don't even want you in office if that is the case, because you don't have the legal right to do it.